Yo, what's up? This is Sifu Gus. So today we're going to be talking about the Shaolin Temple and our experience going there. This is an amazing place. It is the birthplace of Shaolin Kung Fu. Sifu Sandra, you'll be hearing her on there and her experience as well, because she started going with me in 2006. I started going in 2005. And it's just an amazing place. If you are a Kung Fu practitioner and you haven't had a chance to go, no matter what your style is, no matter what your beliefs are, it is an amazing place to at least go visit and say you have been there. I can't wait to go back. Every time I go to China, I always have to go to Shaolin and spend some time there. It has our roots, it has our history, and you can feel it when you're walking the grounds. So before we get started, do me a favor, like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel, and I'm trying to grow it so I can keep putting content out there. I know some of you guys have been asking about more hand-to-hand stuff, and that stuff is coming. I'm looking forward to doing that for you guys because I enjoy it. The other thing is there's another side of what we do, and that's this experience here, and I hope to share this with as many people as I can. Share this with a friend, listen to Sifu Sandra's experience, and she just had an amazing time, and all the quirkiness that was there that we brought over. So here it is, the Shaolin Temple. So Shaolin Temple, boy, not a little monastery in the Song Mountains. It is like Disneyland for Kung Fu people, but I still love going there. I love all aspects of it. You know, what did you think when we first got there?
It really is what you said, but I think we look past that and we think about all of the history that's taken place at this temple.
Yeah, 1,500 years. Well, that rock might not be 1,500 years, but 1,500 years of history, and they've survived so much to be where they are. So, you know, if they want to be a little Disneyland, I'm okay with it. But in the early mornings, which we were not here, the monks were training and the monastery school was training. It was cool, the people who went with us on this trip, and how nice everyone was there when we got there.
Looking at this, it reminds me of when people kept stopping you and Sifu Sheldon, and we couldn't even get into the main entrance without stopping.
I think Sheldon was so shocked that everyone kept stopping him and wanting to take pictures with him. I told him it was going to happen, but he's like, no, that's not going to happen. But I think that it was a wonderful experience for him. If you're a Kung Fu practitioner, a Kung Fu martial artist, forget about the commercialism, but you should go to the Shaolin Temple. It's the mecca of Shaolin Kung Fu.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people who say, I don't want to go there because it's so commercialized, but you have to look past that. Really look at the depth of what you're experiencing when you're there.
Because I can look at that and say, gosh, 1,500 years ago, there's certain spots in there that that's what they do. They train, they still train. There's certain places and halls that are famous, and you see them on pictures and different things like that. So in 2005, I originally went to Shaolin for the first time, and it's still an unbelievable trip to me. But the coolest thing was when we went, I came back and I was like, you gotta go, and you went in 2006 with me.
I'm so glad that I went.
Right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like to get up at 5 in the morning and it's pitch black, and all you hear are these guys training. You can't really see anything because there's no lights there yet. And then you start to see the sea of red jackets everywhere.
Oh my gosh, that was an unbelievable thing. And even when it was dark in the mornings, you could hear all of the students, and they were just running along going, and then like you said, as the sun came up, you saw a red sea of jackets. It really was incredible.
Right, and that's the monastery school. And it's really cool that they were so welcoming. And it was also cool that when we first got there, the monks welcomed us and they did like a prayer ceremony, and it was really impactful. I know for me it was. Probably not you, because you're a gangster. But
I was just trying to take it all in.
So I think that was a really cool thing, and Tago was an amazing place at the time for us. I wouldn't want to do it now, but then was so perfect for us. The training was hard. My first year, the classes were 7.5 hours a day, and then when we went with you, what was it, 6.5 hours a day?
I thought it was 8. I just counted it. I was looking at my old journal.
Wow. So, and then you train. And then at the end of the day, these kids, they have to clean their own clothes, and they still have to go to school. And in the time that they're off, they still practice their Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Like their breaks. Like where our kids are looking on their phones and different things like that, they're practicing their Kung Fu. And at the end of the day, the kids are having fun.
I just remember in our free time, we would just sit there and watch them
Yeah.
train. And they were so cute. They would all come up and just say, hello, hello.
Right. Smiling and everything, right? So I think that was so cool. What an amazing experience to go to a school where there's 30,000 students training. And that's just an amazing and overwhelming experience when you see it.
Yeah, I always tell this story, but I have to say it. Like, this is when I could sprint. So I took off one day to the temple, and these two young girls came up to me and started speaking Mandarin, and I didn't understand a word in 2006. And so we just looked at each other and we just started sprinting all the way to the temple. And when we got there, we hugged and they said goodbye in Mandarin and I said goodbye in English. And it was just something that was so memorable that really stands out for me because you can communicate through your heart.
Yeah. And we've had so many experiences there where they don't speak English, but you can communicate. That's a really good way of saying it, that you communicate through your heart. And they know what you're saying. Like they get it, right? And so I think that that's a wonderful experience. Again, if you haven't had a chance to go to Shaolin, you need to go. So I know how I felt about Dharma Hall. How did you feel about Dharma Hall? Dharma Hall is the place where I stayed in 2005, and we all stayed in 2006. And it was a dormitory, a Dharma Hall-tory.
I would never change that at all. I love that experience, but I remember we would see rats around, and so there were holes in the walls of our hotel room, our dorm room, and there were some magazine sheets that were taped up on the wall. Supposedly that was going to keep a rat out. I don't think so, but my roommate at the time, Irene, she used more tissue and magazine sheets, and she used Breathe Right strips that she brought with her to tape those things up against the wall. Anyway, that's just a funny memory I have about Dharma Hall.
And going to eat in the kitchen where you had to go by the bathroom, and the bathroom smelled.
Oh, man.
I like the Chan Wu Hotel now.
Me too. But the floor was so sticky because they spit everywhere. Yeah. And it was...
Yeah, it was pretty funny, and but we wouldn't change any of that.
No, I'm so glad I experienced it like that.
Yeah, it was also cool training there. You know, meeting people from all over the world. Actually, one lady told me, she goes, "I was sitting in the south of France. I looked at my husband. I said, I'm gonna go to Shaolin for a month," and she came to Shaolin. She was one of the first people I met. The other person I met was international superstar Cynthia Rothrock. They were training with Grandmaster Eric Lee, so Grandmaster Eric Lee's group, and it was fun. It was fun. She was so awesome. They were so awesome, and but walking on the grounds for the first time for you. So now we see the monastery school. We train at the monastery, but now you're on the inside of the Shaolin Temple, where the monks have lived for thousands of years. So what was your experience like after you got past Hung and Ha and all the guardians?
I just remember telling you I wanted to just take it all in, and you said, you can't, Sandra. You have to just take it minute by minute of what you're doing, and then you'll think about more things after you get back to the United States. But I was just walking through, looking around at this ancient temple and thinking about everything that had taken place there.
You know, when you think about these halls, some of these halls have been here. There's a legendary room where the monks trained, and there's holes in the ground from them stomping and hitting the ground. We got a chance to see that, or the picture of all the, let's say, the tan monks, all the dark monks. Master Sheldon's like, I want to see the area where all the black monks are, you know.
The dark Buddha.
Exactly. So it was really, really cool. And then we got a chance to see a show with the monks. And you know the favorite part of the show, right? So there's a martial arts show there. And we've seen it many times every time we've gone, but I'll let you tell the story.
We were sitting like in the back row in this theater, and we were very tired because, you know, we haven't slept a lot. And so they wanted a volunteer to come up on stage, and SOV, who's on stage, was sleeping. And so Sifu nudged him. He said, go, they need a volunteer. So he just popped out of his seat and ran up there on the stage. He ended up winning whatever they were doing on stage, this competition, which was hysterical. I think he did a rolling tiger, a jump inside crescent kick, something like that.
Well, and it was who would do it the best, who could follow the monks the best.
Oh, I see.
And he followed the monks the best. SOV. I think he had a little bit of a good trip on that one.
He really did. we met this young woman, and she was going through nursing school, and she was just sticking with me and the SOV. And she was so sweet, but I think at the end I figured out she was just practicing her English, and that's why she was hanging out with us.
So as you know me, one of the things I like to do when I go over there, I like to have a guide. And Yan was our guide in 2016 and 2017, and he was just a very interesting guy. What is the first thing he said to us? He's one of the 10 living Buddhas on the planet.
Let's just say he was our most memorable guide we've ever had.
I think he upset every instructor we visited.
Again, I wouldn't change that for anything. That was just all a part of our experience that we had there.
Yeah, by the time we were ready to go back, we're like, no, we got to have Yan again. And he shows up, and we're so happy. He's like, why do they like me so much? One of the things the other things that Yan really impressed upon us was going to Bodhidharma's cave. And I think that that's really important. If you don't know who Bodhidharma is, he is the Indian monk who came over and shared yogic practices, which then became some other wonderful parts of Shaolin Kung Fu. And it really helped the monks and all that good stuff. They say fighting was already at the temple, but he helped he's actually the patriarch of Zen. So they call it Chan over there. So he's the one who took the whole concept of Buddhism and said, listen, this is about you. And Chan was born, and in Japan it became Zen. Just a little history for some of you guys who don't know.
I have to say, that was just something I had heard about for years, and to go there and experience that was just mind-blowing. But so much of what I loved about that whole day and making our journey up there to the cave was the experience along the way.
Yeah, meeting those young monks.
And the nun who just gave us like bracelets and just blessed them. That was just an amazing experience. And then the young kids that we saw.
Yeah, and you got to be open to that kind of stuff, because if you're not open to it, then it really doesn't have a deeper meaning to you. But I remember earlier in 2005, 2006, I didn't go to Bodhidharma's cave, and Yan was like, you should really go. And it's just an amazing place to be, and there's something special about it when you go there.
Yeah, in 2005 and 6, they had not repaved and like made that whole trail there as nice as it is now. So we got to experience it.
It was nice. And also too, for those who don't know anything about Bodhidharma, he didn't like what he was seeing, and so he went up in the mountains and this is the story we were told, meditated for 9 years and then came back down. And what we have now is based on what his interpretation of what he was sharing. So when you go there, you'll see pictures of Bodhidharma. And Bodhidharma is not, a lot of people don't know, in martial arts, don't know how huge Bodhidharma is to all martial arts.
Yeah, if you do go there, make sure you go up to Bodhidharma's cave. That's just something that, you'll probably never experience again. So don't choose to go shopping like the first year like I did instead of going to the cave.
That was about 2005, 2006. So remember we saw that fried chicken place there? I did not get a chance to try it. I really wanted to try it, but I did not get a chance to try it.
Yeah, I didn't try it there either.
Yeah, we were, let's just say when we were there in 2006, it was a little bit different. Although we didn't eat at the Shaolin Temple in 2016 or 2017. We ate back at our hotel. The video you should have seen already. We put a video up about the hotel we stayed at. It was an actual Kung Fu hotel. But the people were nice. Everyone loved you, of course, as usual. And Sifu Julie and took pictures with Master Sheldon. And
you know who likes Sifu Julianne and myself are all the young girls and all the ladies.
Yeah.
It's just so funny, and they all wanted to have their picture taken, and everyone was just so kind and gracious.
Yeah. As you know, we can do this for hours and hours and hours because we're so passionate about what we do and the birthplace of Shaolin Kung Fu. I had an amazing time. Every time I've gone, I've had nothing but an amazing time. Everybody's been nice and kind, and you learn so much more about it. We didn't even talk about the pagoda forest. We got a chance to go there before. It was now it has fencing around it. It didn't have fencing around it before, but it was such an amazing experience. And the pagoda forest is, I guess we were around dead people.
Yeah, all of the ashes from the monks who had passed.
Yeah, all the abbots, I guess, all the past abbots.
The abbots.
So what was your take on it? What was your experience? Tell these people.
I just think that if you can figure out how to go, you have to enjoy every second of it, from the, like Sifu and I were talking about, from the entrance to all of the shops, to going into the temple, up to Bodhidharma's cave. Everything that you experience along the way is all part of going to the Shaolin Temple.
Yeah.
I have to go again.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a must. And I don't mind the how it's commercial. I'm generally taller than everybody anyway, so I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with it. And everyone's there is so nice and so kind. And since we've gone, we've even run into monks who's like, let us know when you're going to be there and different things like that. So I thank you guys for listening. I know this was a little long, but I think we have to do one on our other favorite place, which is Wudong.
Oh, yes.
The birthplace of internal Kung Fu. And that's just an amazing place. And we will definitely get another video up on that, because I almost was not able to get Sifu Sandra off the mountain in that place. All right, we'll see you guys next time.